Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th and overall registration goes through May 30th.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Hey, I like your new car.
Thanks.
Could you stop at this coffee shop? I need a cup of joe.
Press that little red button.
Hey, an entire coffee machine just came out of your dashboard.
Yep.
More things should be built in, like the multiplier in Mega Millions from your Nebraska Lottery. It's one of the new enhancements to the game, along with bigger jackpots and better odds.
Oh, that coffee is a little strong.
Press the blue button.
What's that?
Cream dispenser.
$5 Mega Millions top prize odds, 1 in 290 million.
You don't have to cross your fingers when digging into the ground this spring. Start every project with a call to Nebraska 811 so utilities like LES can mark their buried lines and you can avoid injury and power outages.
Vershawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
This is going to be a good one. The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Cars together, so close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts, beer, and barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Welcome to The Drive with AD Raff and Ahman Grain. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis.
Nebraska will win the national championship. The Cornhuskers beat Miami. It is history. 13-0 and bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Former Arena Football League quarterback, former head coach of the Capital City Crush, and guru of Husker football history, Chris Raff.
25 straight wins for the Cornhuskers. One of the most dominating stretches in college football history.
We may have seen one of the best teams in the history of college football tonight.
12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska eSports coach, Ahman Green.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown.
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we are back again. This is The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday, halfway through the week. The weather is beautiful. Nick Sainert looks amazing.
Not true. Shout out to Mike the barber. He's a big part of that. Visited him yesterday. It was a good time. I will say this about Mike, and I appreciate him. Check him out. Lots of Fades is the name because his last name is Mike. It's Mike Lott.
Oh.
And so his shop is called Lots of Fades.
Working the name into it.
He does a lot of important people's hair. And it's funny because I sit there and he's telling me about some of the guys he cuts. And one of them is like he does Dylan's hair. And then he also I walk in yesterday and guess who's sitting in the chair?
Matt Rule.
No.
Oh.
Husker basketball assistant coach Peyton Borders.
Oh, hello.
And I was like, whoa. I was like, how about this? Just add it to the list of clientele that Mike has. And then, next thing happens where I sit in the chair and it's like, okay, the coolness factor goes down by 1,000%. And, but no, he always gets me right. And so we're feeling good today. Thanks to Mike. You know it, Raff. Haircut day is best day.
It's a good day.
Straight edge razor, all that.
Oh yeah.
So that's that third. So anyway, Raff, how's life going, my friend?
It's going good. I looked outside today and I was like, man, I should be golfing today, but I'm still in search of my clubs. I don't know what I did with my second string clubs.
You're planning on golfing today?
No, I would.
Oh, you would like to.
I wouldn't mind golfing today. I never got any invites from anybody. I don't understand it. I'm probably the coolest guy I know and still no invites. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, let's start off the show with this one. By the way, 402-464-5685. Big Ty says, good morning, guys. Every time I hear the entrance to your show, it brings back childhood memories. Hopefully we can get a newer version of that soon. I would absolutely agree, right? And I think over the course of the show, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Obviously, the transfer portal is opening up today. Yet to hear anything official from Nebraska's camp on guys that have entered the portal or have chosen to. One of them that was really crazy over the last, 48 hours was, we talked about him yesterday, Jaden Ott, the California running back. Who had about 2,600 yards in his rushing career. It was funny because I just saw a tweet literally maybe 30 seconds before we went on the air. And it was a picture from a fan that said, I got this California helmet signed 2 days ago by Jaden Ott.
Oh.
And the caption that he wrote on the helmet was, I'm not leaving. It was the quote from Wolf of Wall Street where Jordan Belfort's up there being like, I ain't bleeping leaving. He wrote that on the helmet and signed it, and it was a Cal Golden Bears helmet. Less than 24 hours later, he would enter the portal.
I'm not leaving. That is awesome.
So if that doesn't explain the current landscape of college football, then I don't know what will.
It's interesting too, Oklahoma, because they got the old leader of the Senior Bowl, Jim Nagy's their new general manager down there, and he said he was going to make some waves when he got down there, and that's definitely one of those waves. I saw Dakotas is back in the transfer portal again this morning.
You saw Dakotas Crawford, former Husker receiver, is back in the portal. The other one, and we talked about him extensively the last 4 days, Nico Iamaleava has entered the portal with a do not contact tag. And so he's got his destination already planned out. Right. Well, he already has his destination planned out. Somebody's already agreed to a deal there. Which it's so bizarre. We say it every time that the portal window opens. Guys enter with a do not contact tag. Well, guess what? If they're not eligible to be contacted, who have they talked to? And legally, who have they talked to? Right. And so it just it's like basically hiding in plain sight of, look, we tampered and we illegally contacted schools, but what are you going to do about it? Absolutely nothing. And that's okay. That's okay that it's that way.
See, believer, that's what I do. I just try not to meet many people so then I can still remain the coolest guy I know. I mean, that's just smart right there.
So either way, AG will join us momentarily. He had to take his daughter to the airport earlier today, so he's going to be joining the show a couple of minutes late, but AG will be joining us. AD is down in DeWitt.
DeWitt, Nebraska. Who's the most famous person from DeWitt, Nebraska?
I could not tell you.
Text line?
It's one that's above all the rest.
I don't know.
Do you not know? Did you ask a question that you don't know the answer to?
Yeah, because I wanted to know who the most famous person from DeWitt, Nebraska is.
That's a really bad exercise. I'm going to tell you the truth.
That's why we have the text line.
That's a really bad exercise to do on radio.
That's why you do. You can say, who's the most famous person from DeWitt, Nebraska? And then somebody has some like random knowledge and like, oh my goodness, so-and-so's from DeWitt, Nebraska.
So yeah, once again, AG will join us late.
I actually did know the most famous thing from DeWitt, Nebraska.
AG will join us late. AD is speaking, as we talked about, Tri-County, right? Is that correct? I believe it's Tri-County out down there. That's where Aaron Davis is speaking, so he will not be in today. But AG will be here joining us momentarily. So there's a lot to talk about. I think, Raff, let's start here with Husker football, and I'm going to kind of put you on the spot.
Oh.
But as the portal opens up, that's going to be a big piece of it today.
Yep.
A big piece of the show. And honestly, things could happen and transpire, and we have
that news.
Have to talk about it as soon as it comes across the wire. But ultimately, when you look at Nebraska football's roster and the way it's constructed, if I were to ask you one position group that you cannot afford to lose any bodies.
Ooh.
And I think it's important, and text line, let us know, 402-464-5685. I think it's important is that this is wide open for how you want to interpret it. Because on one hand, you can look at it and say, man, there's some valuable guys in that room that you don't want to lose. Sure, the top of the line guys, the Dane Keys, like those types of guys, let's be realistic about this conversation.
Yep.
But I think ultimately when it's all said and done, is like you could interpret it of, I'm not really sure what to expect from that room. So the more bodies that you have in that room, the better. Because hopefully one of those guys pans out.
Yeah.
So if I had to ask you, Raff, and everybody, if there was somebody that, or excuse me, a group that you sit and say, man, Nebraska can't afford to lose too many guys, what is that position group for you?
I'm going to do a combo group. Can I say?
Absolutely.
I'm just going to say the defensive front seven.
Okay.
I think we're at a point. The defensive line, it's younger, but I think there's a lot of pieces there that they can be really good. So losing someone of that nature, maybe right away might not hurt, but I think it'd be something in the future that it'll be key. And then I think that, the linebackers, they're not crazy high on numbers there, or, people that have had experience. I mean, so we'll have Shavers and McGahee.
Well, Shavers, McGahee, you add Desan McCullough from Oklahoma in the transfer portal. You also added the Georgia Southern linebacker in Trent. So you have a couple of pieces there. I think, once again, that's why I wanted to kind of leave it open for interpretation, because you could look at it as you don't want to lose experience, but also are you okay with losing depth?
Yeah. See, I look at the defensive line.
Yeah. 100%.
It's like they've got decent numbers there. However, we don't want to lose any of them because they're still so young and, developing. So hopefully, if there's, a guy maybe sitting third string and thinking, oh man, I'm not going to play, that ride it out. And so I think that front seven is key for Nebraska, but for any football team, seven.
I think you can actually switch sides. I agree with you on the defensive line. I'm pretty firm in the belief that one of Nebraska's biggest wins this year, and there was never a true threat from at least what I know, that they were able to retain Riley Van Poppel.
Yep.
Like the ability for Nebraska last year to redshirt a guy that performed his freshman year in Riley Van Poppel, their ability and willingness from both sides of the party, from Nebraska's coaching staff, but also from Riley Van Poppel, the ability to retain him, I think is going under the radar.
Oh yeah.
Because he was somebody that did contribute his freshman year, and then year two to just take that out of the equation altogether was something that I was concerned, cautious about kind of the wait and see approach. Sure, you had two potential NFL guys on that front line in Nash Hutmaker and Ty Robinson, but still, like Nebraska, from a pass rush standpoint, the last 5 years has been pretty poor in terms of being able to get to the quarterback.
Well, just even like the fluidity of college football these days. My first thought when we redshirted him, I was like, oh man, I hope we get to see him again because today's world, redshirt, and all of a sudden, well, I've decided to go somewhere else. And so it was able that they were to follow through and, have that red shirt. I mean, it's huge. I mean, man, he's a big boy. I mean,
he is.
Seeing him at that podium, I was like, okay.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is there's a lot to be excited about a guy like RVP, Riley Van Poppel, because he has the background, right? His father was an MLB pitcher, Major League Baseball
pitcher. I thought that
pitcher.
rookie card was going to make me a millionaire.
And so when you look at Riley Van Poppel, though, it's one of those that he now can transition into that leadership role on that defensive line. So I hope that that's where he's ready to go. Now, year 3 into in the program, he got to see some valuable playing time, his true freshman year, then redshirt him his second year with the program, and now year 3. I think he's a guy that on that front line, on the defensive side of the ball, you're hoping, okay, can take a step up.
Well, and another guy that it kind of last year, I don't know if you say a down year, but just kind of a quiet year, Cam Linhart.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those guys. I think he can be really good player.
Yeah.
It's just like last year, his first year, he was getting some pub, really. Yeah. And then all of a sudden last year, just sort of, quiet year from him. So I look for, I guess if you can call it a bounce back year, but I like the form of Nebraska's defensive line and where it can be.
Well, Cam Linhart's recruitment was real publicized, I think. And he comes from IMG Academy down in Florida, which is obviously a pristine and prestigious high school program. But when you look at Cam Linhart, folks might remember, I mean, he was recruited by the previous staff pretty hard, and he was a heavy lean to Nebraska with the previous staff.
Yep.
And then Matt Rule eventually comes in, and his staff kind of picks up where they left off. And it looked like for a moment that Nebraska was losing steam with Cam Linhart. He had a top 3, if I remember correctly, of Nebraska, Michigan State, and Penn State. And so you looked at Cam Linhart and goes, okay, well, look, Penn State certainly has the pedigree of putting guys at Cam's position in the NFL. And so you felt like maybe that was a knock against Nebraska because Nebraska hasn't been able to do that consistently over the last decade or so. But then in addition to that is you have the coaching changes and the uncertainty there as the early signing day was approaching.
True that.
And so Cam Linhart then elected, if I remember correctly, to not sign early signing day, or he made his decision, I should say, during one of the all-star games that they have for high school athletes. And he still picks Nebraska despite the new staff. And then not only was that the first coaching change, now you have it to where while he's at Nebraska, that he has moved and changed position coaches over the last offseason. And so once again, like in this day and age of transferring and guys just jumping ship, if you will, which is fine and understandable, I think it's important for us to also mention the guys that choose to stick around.
Yeah. Because,
right, that's what we all clamor for so often is, man, I wish it was back to where they played for Nebraska. They played for the N on their helmet. Like, and while maybe that's not the case a lot of places, that can still be the case with certain individuals.
Yeah.
And we saw that with two guys, Cam Linhart and Riley Van Poppel.
And we always talk about this all the time, not just in football, but life. Relationships matter. And and I think that's going to be one of those key things. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people hit the transfer portal. That's just part of football. But building those relationships and not wanting to leave, seeing what you can build. And we didn't even mention Keona Davis. I mean,
you're right.
That's another one of those guys. So but those relationships are key. That's what I hope for, when they get down there. And I hope they all become best friends down there.
Yeah. I think, we didn't even mention Keona Davis. And that was a guy that entered the portal. I mean, Nebraska over this offseason had two very key guys enter the portal and choose to come back.
Yeah.
And Emmett Johnson and obviously Keona Davis as well. And Keona's kind of in a similar position. I think he can be a little bit better than even Riley Van Paul, but he's in a similar position to where he saw valuable playing time as a true freshman last year. And he was somebody that I gave a lot of credit to he was someone that we heard a lot about early in fall camp. And we always hear about specific guys that might be somewhere on the depth chart, but they sometimes fizzle out. And that's just the way it kind of happens at times, right? Like there's a lot of spring stories. There's a lot of early fall camp. Hey, this guy can make a push, but then they start to fizzle off. Keona Davis did not. And so I thought that was really impressive by, his true freshman season last year. And you look at Nebraska's defense specifically while we're on this side of the ball. And at some point we can talk about the offense in the same context, but you look at Nebraska's defense and you sit there and think, okay, you feel decent despite losing Nash and Ty up front. You feel good about the possibility of them generating some pressure up front, right? Or even in the set from the second level. I think there's some concern for the defensive backs. Like Deshaun Singleton's going to come back, right? Marquise Buford comes back. Malcolm Hartzog is back. There's a lot of familiar names, but we can't sit here and act like Nebraska's secondary was an all Big Ten type of team last year.
Yep. I always say this, and I tell everybody this. I go, the best way to make your defensive backfield look good, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and you're going to see your defensive backfield take a step forward. So it always kind of goes back. When we talk about the offense, it's like if you have a good offensive line, there's a pretty good chance you can have a successful offense. Yeah. If you've got a great front seven or a good front seven and able to put pressure on the quarterback, there's a pretty good chance you're going to have a good defense. So it always comes down, as pretty as football's got through all the years, and you got your spread offenses and your run and shoot offenses. At the end of the day, it's always that interior lines that decide football.
Yeah, and we got a text from Rubber Duck from LinkedIn, and you're right in that. Yeah, certainly Sierra Wright is in that backfield as well. Yep. I just kind of threw those names in there. I think what was also kind of interesting over the offseason, it was you just kind of recap this with the portal opening up today, is a lot of times you'll see guys transition into a coordinator role and they'll actually keep a position coaching job as well. Yep. That wasn't the case with John Butler. He moves to D coordinator, and that opens up a defensive backs coaching availability, and Addison Williams from UCF comes in. And so hopefully, there's an opportunity there for Addison Williams to kind of put his imprint on it. Not that John Butler can't be or won't be involved, but let's hope that, just that attention to detail, like we talked about with Marcus Satterfield in the offense and 2020 vision, in terms of looking back on it. But ultimately, when you look at Nebraska's offense, part of our conversation was how much time is being able to be spent with the quarterbacks that year, where Marcus Satterfield coached quarterbacks while also being the offensive coordinator. There was that curiosity there just because the quarterback play wasn't very good.
Yeah, I like the coordinators to where they don't have a position group, because you're able to skip around in the meetings and you're able to go sit in, check things out. Yep. Same way, like with the head coaches. I have nothing against head coach calling plays if that's what they're great at. Yeah. But sometimes when you're not having to call plays, or you don't have a position group, you can hop around and you can look at all your different meetings, and you can go see, and you can be a present to the entire team, and not just one position group.
Yeah, so I think from to circle back to the initial question in all of this.
William Peterson, inventor of the vice grips.
Okay. The initial question for Husker football specifically with Nebraska is, when you look at the portal, and Nebraska might not lose a single soul today. Like they just might not. And if they do, if they don't, whatever happens is going to happen. And it's probably already written on the wall, and we'll move forward with the understanding. But when it's all said and done, you look at some position groups that you say, okay, maybe, Nebraska could afford to lose a body there if it's a depth piece. Obviously don't want to lose a guy that you project to be a starter. Cal had 4 running backs, I believe, enter the portal a couple of days ago. Illinois starting running back just entered the portal yesterday, or announced that he intended to enter the transfer portal yesterday afternoon. And so there's some big losses going on around college football. And let's just hope that Nebraska continues the trend of where they haven't necessarily lost meaningful pieces. Sure, Mekhi Bayer, it was a guy that maybe you expected to have some production here in 2026 or 2025 rather. But other than that, like from skill position groups, you haven't lost, guys that have produced and have a lot of production. And so I think you hope that Nebraska continues on that trend. And we go into our Thursday morning show tomorrow saying, okay, Nebraska, they're able to weather the storm, because that's really all you're trying to get through.
So the biggest question that I would love to ask tomorrow is, does Coach Rule and the staff, do they already know, or
I would imagine so.
Because you'll never know. They'll never let on.
Yeah.
Or is there one that will happen today or two that's just a complete
surprise, are there surprises
out of nowhere,
Yeah.
And I'd just be curious to ask that question. I know they would never answer it, but just to see, or is he sitting back there and like, okay, we're going to lose so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Maybe we're going to pick up, that's another thing, who Nebraska might pick up.
Yeah.
Because, it's always fluid. So it'd be a fun question to see, like, is it one of those calm days, like, yep, we understand this is what we're losing, or if it's one of those where you're looking at your Twitter feed and you're like, whoa, wait a second.
Which I will say, like, to that point, Nebraska's signing days, and this isn't necessarily transfer portal, but Nebraska's signing days the last 2 years, even under Scott Frost, like, Nebraska hasn't had some like dramatic finishes on signing day. There hasn't been a whole lot of surprises the last 5 or so years. Like even under Scott Frost, you kind of had an idea, okay, there's maybe one guy that there's some drama there with him of potentially getting flipped. Like I think back to the Jaden Francois, like that's a name that people might have forgotten about, to where he was a DB from the state of Florida. There was rumors that Travis Fisher was leaving. Miami was trying to get in on Jaden Francois. Nebraska ends up being able to hold down his commitment. He commits on, stream or TV or whatever it was from down in Florida, but then he never played a snap, right? So like there's how much drama is there really? The other guy I could think about with the drama was Javonte Jean-Baptiste, where he was planning to come to Nebraska, and then eventually a snow day where he was from, a snow day canceled school, so he had to push back his commitment ceremony. Ryan Day got on the phone, and he ends up flipping what he was planning to do to go to Ohio State instead of Nebraska. And then Javonte Jean-Baptiste eventually transferred to Notre Dame to end his career, and I believe he's with the Cleveland Browns right now. But you look at like just the lack of drama. It's been a pretty, how do I want to say this?
No surprises,
not really filled with drama the last couple of years. And when you look around the country and see that there's some meaningful programs that are going through the ringer with some guys, then you kind of say, okay, maybe we should count our blessings a little bit that there's not a whole lot of drama going on.
No, that's a good thing. And you don't like that when you see like, whoa, wait a second, why is so-and-so in the transfer?
Ooh, Raff, do you remember the name Jameer Calvin?
Yes, wide receiver.
So Jameer Calvin, I always love to just revisit this recruitment with Jameer because it was so bizarre. And before we go to break, so he was a class of 2021 guy, okay?
Yep.
And he was I say just a 3-star. He was a 3-star prospect from LA. He was measured at 5'9", 150. I should say, excuse me, he graduated in 2021, so he was a 2017 guy.
He's
so
Cal-Nebraska movement, I believe.
He was part of that movement. I mean, I go back on some of his events, right? And it's just bizarre to revisit this. And I hope there's some Husker fans out there that can remember this one, because let's go through this real quick. So December 10th, 2016, Jameer Calvin names a Final Four of Alabama, Nebraska, Notre Dame, and Washington State.
Yeah.
January 7th, 2017, he commits to Oregon State.
Yep.
10 days later, he decommits from Oregon State. 10 days after that, on January 27th, he commits to Nebraska. Then 4 days later, on signing day, he commits and flips to Washington State. And then after 3 seasons at Washington State, where he had a pretty good career, he enters the portal and transfers to Mississippi State. And that is where he ended his career. But that was always one of them that I always go back to in the last decade or so. Gosh, that's almost 10 years now, where I remember thinking about those updates of Jameer Calvin. And it was like Nebraska's in the front seat. And then now it's Oregon State. And then he flips to Nebraska. And within 3 weeks, he made 3 different decisions.
Yeah. Well,
State, Nebraska, and then Washington State.
The Buki Radley Hiles recruitment.
Certainly.
The great one, the legend.
Yep. That entire class with Brendan Radley Hiles, who he eventually decommitted on Halloween, the year that Mike Riley got fired. Because I remember I was working at the Amigos drive-thru when he decommitted. But that whole class there was a lot of excitement with that class, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you were trending, you were trending in the right direction with Micah Parsons. I don't think Micah would have eventually came here, but and that certainly worked out for his benefit. But you were trending in the right direction with Micah Parsons. Obviously, you had Brendan Radley Hiles. You had Chase Williams, the defensive back, who was committed, who eventually went to USC after Mike Riley got fired. You had Mario Goodrich, who was a starting defensive back at Clemson after he decommitted. He was from the St. Louis or Missouri area. You were fighting for TJ Pledger at running back in that class. So there was a lot of just the names that are going to take Husker fans back as we kind of wrap up this segment here. But
the good times.
I mean, Nebraska, it feels like there were so many more eyes on recruiting, high school recruiting specifically, back through like 2015 to 2021. But since the NIL movement, it's been a lot of transfer portal conversation, not so much high school recruiting focus.
Yeah.
From a fan standpoint, I think.
Yep, it's true. It's true.
So,
I remember, I think there's just so much in college football going on in today's world, transfer portal and stuff like that, because I remember recruitment day in Nebraska. I mean,
oh yeah.
What was it?
Remember,
it used to be February, wasn't it?
So they had that was one of the first years, if I remember correctly, of the early signing period. And then obviously they had the February 1st when Jameer Calvin decommitted. Yeah. That was like the big signing day.
Yeah, those were that was the biggest day. I was like,
well, and it's so funny because they used to go all out, like networks, TV networks and things like that.
Oh yeah.
They used to go all out of like, this guy's going to commit on ESPN at 12:35 p.m. Central Time. This guy's going to commit. Like Maurice Washington was on ESPN2 deciding between Nebraska and Arizona State. And he put on the Nebraska hat. Like there was so much investment into high school recruiting in that like 7-year span.
Yep.
And now it's just shifted completely to transfer portal.
They
still
those
do
days.
specials. They still do recruiting days, signing day specials.
But not as fun as what they used to be when the guy would select the hat and the mom would have the shirt of the other school and walk off the stage. I mean, that was.
Do you remember that guy's name?
Oh.
He ended up going to Florida as a wide receiver.
I have no idea.
Jacob Copeland. Jacob Copeland was the 5-star receiver who selected Florida over Alabama, and the mom got mad because he didn't choose Alabama, and she got up and walked off the stage.
I'm out of here.
And then because it was on ESPN, and the ESPN anchor goes, "So Jacob, who was that just walked off the stage?" He's like, "That was my mama." Yeah, that was kind of bizarre. But Austin on the text line says, "Yeah, that was the Cal-Nebraska movement. That was the year that made me start paying attention to recruiting." He brought up a great one. Elijah Blades.
Oh yes,
that was one. A 4-star defensive back that was, I believe, was initially he was a lock to come to Nebraska. There was some off the field stuff, I believe, if I remember correctly. Academic stuff played a factor into it. But then he goes to JUCO, goes to Oregon, enters the portal again, and then goes to Texas A&M.
Why am I forget the end-all be-all receiver? I think he went to Oregon State.
Tyjon Lindsey. He started his career at Nebraska, though.
If we would have got Tyjon and he would have stayed, we'd have won 3 national titles.
Stayed, because he was here for a year. Tyjon Lindsey, that's when we really thought that Mike Riley was this incredible recruiter, because he flipped a 5-star from Ohio State and Tyjon Lindsey to Nebraska. I was also working at Amigos at that time.
Man, Amigos.
A lot of recruiting news happened when I was getting ready for my shift at Amigos back when I was 16 years old.
Oh, that is
70th
awesome.
and A. A lot of Nebraska recruiting news. A lot of good thoughts on the text line. Brad from Baldwin says, "I just hope for no portal entries and a 10-win season." Rubber Duck from LinkedIn says, "The biggest spot I'm worried about is running back. Losing Dante Dowdell hurt us." I think that we can get to that at some point in the show. Maybe even in the next segment is the Dante Dowdell stuff. Where's that leave Nebraska's running back room? Derek in a car brought up the biggest unknown is our tight end group. It's not a real proven bunch, but lots of potential talent. Yeah. If you ask me, I would say that that's a thin position group. Thanks, guys. Great topic. Old Dad 34 says, "I agree with Raff. The D-line is certainly a conversation." Defensive line says insightful dude. He also mentioned the running back position as well. So there's some good thoughts on the text line.
That defensive line for me is like, I want to keep them together just to see what they can become, because I think they have the potential to be really, really good, because they've got the players down there, but it's just a matter of, getting the size on them, getting the experience on them. But I think if you can keep that group, that core together, watch out, Nebraska will be pretty fierce up front.
Let's talk offensive side of the ball when we come back, because I think there's a lot of thoughts on the running back situation, the tight end room as well. So we can dive into that a little bit too.
All right, we'll throw it to break. This is The Drive, 93.7, The Ticket.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Pre-order your Hog Wild slow-smoked Easter ham today. Hog Wild selects the highest quality whole ham and slow smokes them until they're tender and delicious. Our 100% boneless ham is approximately 4 pounds and $50. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com. Quantities are limited. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
You don't have to cross your fingers when digging into the ground this spring. Start every project with a call to Nebraska 811 so utilities like LES can mark their buried lines and you can avoid injury and power outages.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
When your home fills up with family, Aloe Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Aloe Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Aloe at 866-481-2556 or visit aloefiber.com.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. And get a house that you're going to be happy with. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Join Nebraska softball for another action-packed weekend on April 18th and 19th as they face Indiana at Bowlin Stadium. The top 25 ranked Huskers are hot and ready to show off their dominance in the Big Ten during this two-game series. Plus, Saturday is Kids Day. There will be family activities throughout the game and an egg hunt with the team after the final out. You won't want to miss this weekend at the ballpark, April 18th and 19th. For event and ticket information, head to huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Spring is right around the corner, and now's the time to get your John Deere mower prepared for the grass to turn green. To get you ready, Acres reduced the price of its John Deere mower blades, filters, belts, and home maintenance kits by 15%. Gator UTV maintenance parts are also 15% off. Regular maintenance will keep your John Deere equipment going for years. Warmer weather is coming soon, so don't delay. Offer expires May 31st, 2025. Visit your local Acres for details or go to acres.com to start shopping today.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Gray on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we're back again. This is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket. It's Wednesday. DeWitt, Nebraska, William Peterson invented the vice grips.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Before we get rolling on the offensive side, the segment brought to you by Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services. Jack has been a well-respected representative since 1999 and can help you protect your home, your vehicle, your family, or even your future. Visit one of their 2 locations in either Lincoln or Seward today and give Jack a call, 402-421-9100, to learn how Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services can help you protect what matters most. All right, Raffy, we talked defense in the previous segment. We'll keep this one a little shorter so we get back on track on time, if you will. But when you look at the offensive side of the ball, a lot of thoughts on running back, right? Yep. You know, Nebraska loses Dante Dowdell and into the portal. Maybe that was the biggest surprise departure of the season, of the offseason it is. But it feels like Emmett Johnson is ready to take that job by the horns.
I think it's Emmett's. I think it's Emmett's job. I think he's that. You don't really hear the word bell cow running back much anymore, but I think he is going to be, you know, the number one, where the spotlight's on.
Yeah. Well, I think we can have this conversation, understanding that in today's college football, not even in today's college football, at Nebraska, the last couple of years, you just haven't seen a guy really take the job. Yep. It feels like the last few seasons that Emmett's been the better, quote unquote, better running back of the 2 or 3 options that they have. But ultimately, when you look at Nebraska, you look at Emmett Johnson and go, man, that guy just does things differently than Dante Dowdell did. Dante Dowdell, I mean, I even go back to, you know, the years under Scott Frost, to where they had a lot of variety in the running back room. Some guys did some things well. The other ones did some shiftier things better. Yep. Emmett Johnson can certainly do kind of a little bit of everything.
Kind of a mixture.
Yeah, which hopefully gives Nebraska some sort of strong running game, I think.
Yep. And then you got Ives there. I mean, he brings that, you know, out of the backfield, you know, the receiving end of it. I think he'll be solid too. I think the one thing that he's missing is just the experience. Just getting out there and getting that playing time and having that important playing time. But at the end of the day, I think you look at running back, it's Emmett Johnson. I think that's your guy.
I think so. I think they also feel, I'm pretty confident in saying that he's going to be the guy. You feel pretty confident, like they look at him as the number one option. And we can't even, I think it's pointless to have a conversation like he's not, because I think it's not even a question. Yep. But when it's all said and done, you look at Nebraska and the what if scenario of what does this look like if Emmett Johnson wouldn't have come back, right? If Nebraska was not able to retain him, what would this have looked like? I think you'd be feeling a lot different about this room, even if you went out and got a transfer portal addition, because they would have had to, right? Because you look behind Emmett Johnson, and we got this on the text line a lot, where, excuse me, I mean, there was, let's see, I got to find the specific one. Rubber Duck from LinkedIn, the biggest spot I'm worried about is running back losing Dowdell Hurt.
Yeah.
I think it's more so just the unproven guys that are behind Emmett Johnson.
Yeah, and then, that's another thing, too, that, will this transfer portal, will this be something to where Nebraska, maybe adds another running back?
Potentially.
And it's always interesting to look at that. And then, you got and you wonder, like, as much as it's crazy to say it, even though you have like a lot of unproven behind Emmett, you hope that, none of those guys decide to hit the transfer portal.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not super concerned about that. I think Nebraska has a really good young guy in Jamarian Parker, who's a true freshman that I think needs to just get a little bit bigger, a little stronger, just like every running back does. Yep. And we can frame this as we transition this conversation a little bit to the offensive line of just, you don't want to rush guys in too early. Yep. So staying with running back, like we got the question of, is there any guys out there in the portal that you think could help Nebraska? Sure. Right. Like the top of the line guys, the Illinois starting running back is really good, and he's a big body type of guy, but also you don't want to just add guys just to add guys. Like I think Nebraska has to be strategic with how they operate in the transfer portal. And I think they know that, because you don't just want to add guys to add guys. You have to have some sort of idea of, okay, if we're going to bring somebody in at this point of the offseason, we need to be purposeful about it.
Yep. And right? Like you always try it. Like me, for instance, I always try to look for links. Like, okay,
sure. Yeah.
Like, did Dana Holgerson or did any of those prior coaches, did they work with anybody?
Yeah.
Have they been in a different school with each other? It's stuff like that. You kind of, because you want someone, you just, like you said, you just don't want to add someone to add someone.
Yeah.
You want them to come in to be an integral part, but also gel, with what you're doing in the chemistry. So
yeah, I will find it interesting just overall the number of transfer portal entries across the country, not even at Nebraska, just across the country. Because I think this year we're really starting to see, maybe I said it yesterday, that I think there's going to be some big names that enter the portal, maybe not as many guys overall, but just some bigger names that think that they can go and find a little bit more money, i.e. Nico Iamaleava, which is fine. But let's finish up this whole conversation with the offensive line, I suppose. When you look at the offensive line, I look at that as another position where you just don't want to have any guys move on, because Nebraska finally is getting to a spot, and this is a big year for Donovan Raiola. He was the one holdover from the previous staff. We know that. If I remember, it's his final year of his contract, so he's on his last year if they haven't extended him. But ultimately, there's been a lot of ample time for Donovan, and I've been a big fan of Donovan Raiola, and I think that the offensive line has gotten better under his 100% and total control. But there's still some unknowns about who's going to line up where. Like I think for a fact that Elijah Pritchett is going to line up at left tackle. I'm pretty confident in saying that over the air. We know that Justin Evans, according to the coaches, has center on lockdown, right? Rocco Spindler is going to be involved, the former Notre Dame, offensive lineman there. But then where does a guy like Henry Lutovsky, is he able to make a jump, right? Is Gunnar Gatula healthy? What about somebody like Teddy Prohaska? Where does he line up in all of this? This has been something Nebraska's been trying to work towards, is bring guys in through high school recruiting on the offensive line, allow them 1 or 2 or even 3 years to get stronger in their body the way it needs to be to be an offensive lineman at Nebraska and then go out and them actually perform for you. And so as this has been a process, Nebraska, Matt Rule, Scott Frost, they gave Donovan Raiola ample time. I think this is the year where maybe expectations become a little higher for Nebraska's offensive line. Not that they haven't been before, but I think that they need to become a little higher this year just because now you're entering into what is this, year 4 under Donovan Raiola? It's time to see the dominance that we've been working towards and allowing him to develop over these last 3 off seasons.
And I definitely give credit to him and the coaching staff to illustrate a plan to these offensive linemen to tell them that, hey, we're going to sit you for a year or two, but we have the plan, or they have their plan, or what, and the players that understand it. Because I'll tell you what, when we recruited Grant Bricks, if this would have been 10 years ago, it would have been like, get him in there as soon as possible.
Get him in there.
Get him in there.
He would have had the Bryce Benhart, the Turner Corcoran treatment, where it's we need him right now, right here, right now. And that you just can't have that. And so that's where I do give Nebraska's staff, the heads, like giving Donovan Raiola time. But now at some point there has to be a sense of urgency of we got to see some sort of dominance on the up on the front.
At least now you have that depth.
Yeah,
you see that building. For years there, we weren't building anything. We were just trying to plug and play and like, okay, we're putting someone in.
Yeah,
hopefully it works.
And there's a difference between plugging and playing in that context where it's, hey, bring them in from high school and throw them ready to go. But then also plugging and playing the way they're going to do with Elijah Pritchett and Rocco Spindler.
Exactly. And they've had their college football experience. So they're not just, because that switch from high school to college, that's a big jump, and going, playing Power 5 football.
Time for a little history, Raffy. Let's take a break.
All right. Well, don't break. It's The Drive. 93.7, The Ticket.
Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hey, I like your new car.
Thanks.
Could you stop at this coffee shop? I need a cup of Joe.
Press that little red button.
Hey, an entire coffee machine just came out of your dashboard.
Yep.
More things should be built in, like the multiplier in Mega Millions from your Nebraska Lottery. It's one of the new enhancements to the game, along with bigger jackpots and better odds.
Oh, that coffee is a little strong.
Press the blue button.
What's that?
Cream dispenser.
$5 Mega Millions top prize odds, 1 in 290 million.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Spring is right around the corner, and now's the time to get your John Deere mower prepared for the grass to turn green. To get you ready, Acres reduced the price of its John Deere mower blades, filters, belts, and home maintenance kits by 15%. Gator UTV maintenance parts are also 15% off. Regular maintenance will keep your John Deere equipment going for years. Warmer weather is coming soon, so don't delay. Offer expires May 31st, 2025. Visit your local Acres for details or go to acres.com to start shopping today.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's becoming a wild ride in the car market these days, but Koppel wants to let you know and assure you that we are staying the course with our usual pricing model. We've still got huge discounts and low interest rates, so let's get after it. We've got over $12,500 off list price or 0% APR right now on select new vehicles. New and pre-owned, our lots are full, so now's the time to buy. Please stop on in the dealership or check us out at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G187747. All deals with roof credit.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You don't have to cross your fingers when digging into the ground this spring. Start every project with a call to Nebraska 811 so utilities like LES can mark their buried lines and you can avoid injury and power outages.
You know the saying, April showers bring May flowers. Well, it's true for heart health, too. Sprinkling in a few small changes can make a big impact on your heart health. Try adding a vegetable to your dinner or no salt seasoning. Looking for support in making these changes? Join a workshop to learn more about a healthy lifestyle. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska for more details. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to The Drive. 93.7 The Ticket. Wednesday, beautiful day outside. I think a high of like 79 today.
Hello.
Maybe a little bit of wind, but
tomorrow's like a high of 91.
Good Lord.
I know. It's bizarre. But speaking of bizarre, how about this statistic for you?
I love
the San Diego Padres have lost 4 games this year.
Nice.
3 of them have come to the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, hello.
They just lost their first one at home this season to the Chicago Cubs last night.
Oh, the Cubs. What's the Cubs record this year?
12-8.
Hello.
First in the NL Central.
Nice.
They've outscored. They have like a plus 46 run differential in games they've played this year. A couple of those came against the Athletics where they won like 16-0 or something. But
yeah, those are freebies.
Yeah, not the Oakland Athletics, just the Athletics. Don't forget. But anyway, what you got for history today, Raffy?
I got a little bit of history today. On this day in 1929,
okay,
the New York Yankees become the first Major League Baseball team to permanently feature numbers on the backs of their uniforms.
Oh.
And now you always wonder, like all those early Yankees, they had the numbers like 3, 4. The number corresponded with their position number.
Is that right?
So 7 left field, 8 center, 9 right field. Yep. So that's why all the low numbers, pretty much for the Yankees are retired, because all those great early season, all those early grades.
Yeah.
So
would you be able to, this might be a stupid question, would you be able to position a field like to lay out all the position numbers?
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah. People get mixed up, and they mess up with third base, shortstop.
Really? 5 and 6?
5 and 6.
Yeah, so my dad back in the old softball days, I used to be the bookkeeper when I was 7, 8 years old.
The official statistician.
You better believe it. I mean, I'd keep batting averages. I kept RBIs.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because back when my sister was playing select softball, that was my job. I would take the iPad and I'd be sitting in the stands on.
I didn't have an iPad.
It was when first Game Changer came out.
Yeah.
A lot of, if your kids are in youth sports, for listeners out there, you'll know Game Changer. And it was like the initial Game Changer where you had you watched pitch by pitch and you kept statistics. And then also on top of that is you would have to drag the ball when they hit it. You would drag the ball to where it went. I don't know if that's still the way you do it now. I'm guessing that it's much more advanced now and probably user friendly. But that was how it was when we went to in high school. So part of our job, and this is a usual thing across all sport, especially baseball, is there were charts that we had to keep. So if you weren't playing, you had to keep charts. Everybody had a job, whether you were on foul balls and you had to go chase them, whether you had to do what we called a productive at bat chart, whether you talked about quality pitching, or you kept game book. And so every single player on our baseball team in high school at Pius, they knew how to do every single chart that we had, keeping game book. And that's how we learned. And it was so much to the point where before the season, the Saturday before our first game, we would get every single player in the program together with our coaches, and they'd go through, this is how we do charts. and if you messed up how you did a chart, you started running. So that was the case. So it was like nobody wanted to mess up on the charts. But it was really good from like a baseball IQ standpoint, because it kept everybody locked into the game.
Locked in the game.
And they also understood baseball IQ a little bit better.
Wow, that's wild.
But which I enjoyed it. I mean, it meant I wasn't playing, but I enjoyed, and the best part is, so with Pius, they only have 2 teams in the spring, JV or varsity. So if you're a freshman, you make JV and you're playing against juniors. Well, a lot of times sophomores are the ones that play on JV. So your freshman year, you're keeping a lot of charts.
Yep.
And man, you're terrified as that freshman, because you just don't want to mess up, because then they'd send you to the other field and you'd start running pulls.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
It was a whole thing. But anyway, anything else for history?
Yep. This day in 2003, Michael Jordan plays his final game. So
he received a long ovation.
3 minutes.
Yep.
3 minutes standing ovation. And then I got 2 birthdays.
What you got?
Celebrating his 78th birthday today, Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and turning 73 years old today, the head football coach for the North Carolina Tar Heels, Mr. Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick's birthday today.
73. I wonder what kind of party they're having tonight.
I could not tell you. In bed by 8 p.m.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Man, that's funny. But there's Bill Belichick, not the landing spot for Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah,
neither is Tulane.
Where's Nico gonna go? Watch him end up at Tennessee.
No way. I feel like there's too many bridges that have been burnt.
Yeah, that would be so funny though.
Yeah. So, all right, Raffy, it's 10:07 a.m. It's time we officially transition to hour number 2.
All right, throw it to break. This is The Drive. 93.7 The Ticket.
Garage
garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
When your home fills up with family, Aloe Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Aloe Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Join Nebraska softball for another action-packed weekend on April 18th and 19th as they face Indiana at Bowlin Stadium. The top 25 ranked Huskers are hot and ready to show off their dominance in the Big Ten during this two-game series. Plus, Saturday is Kids Day. There will be family activities throughout the game and an egg hunt with the team after the final out. You won't want to miss this weekend at the ballpark, April 18th and 19th. For event and ticket information, head to huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red. Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze, an afternoon high around 80. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly cloudy, a low near 59. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly sunny, with a high near 86. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring is right around the corner, and now's the time to get your John Deere mower prepared for the grass to turn green. To get you ready, Acres reduced the price of its John Deere mower blades, filters, belts, and home maintenance kits by 15%. Gator UTV maintenance parts are also 15% off. Regular maintenance will keep your John Deere equipment going for years. Warmer weather is coming soon, so don't delay. Offer expires May 31st, 2025. Visit your local Acres for details or go to acres.com to start shopping today.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. And get a house that you're going to be happy with. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Runners, are you ready? The 48th Annual Lincoln Marathon takes over the streets on Sunday, May 4th. Whether you're chasing a personal best, conquering your first race, or just in it for the bragging rights, this race is for you. Sign up for the full or half marathon today at lincolnmarathon.org, but don't wait, spots are filling fast. Join thousands of runners or line up along the course to cheer them on and make race day unforgettable. The Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon, your finish line is waiting. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Welcome to The Drive with A.D. Raff and Ahman Green. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis.
Nebraska will win the national championship. The Cornhuskers beat Miami. It is history, 13-0, and bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Former Arena Football League quarterback, former head coach of the Capital City Crush, and guru of Husker football history, Chris Raff.
25 straight wins for the Cornhuskers. One of the most dominating stretches in college football history.
We may have seen one of the best teams in the history of college football tonight.
12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska eSports coach, Ahman Green.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown.
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we're back again. This is The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket. We're proudly sponsored by Doors Plus. If your garage door needs maintenance, you need an entirely new garage door, give Cameron Hall and his team a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus is locally owned and handles everything from residential or commercial garage doors, garage door openers, safety tune-ups, or custom design. Visit DoorsPlusLLC.com to learn more. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Whoa,
there's
that
a voice.
It's Ahman Green. Hello,
What
AD.
up? Man, I'm good. Doing good. Just dropped my daughter off at the airport and had an early birthday celebration last night. Something simple. Just she picked the restaurant out here in downtown Houston. Nice little, I'll say it's like a restaurant medley. It was a place called The Underground, and they had a chicken place called Side Chick.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then they had a burger place called Bun Slut.
All righty.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then there was a Latino place or Mexican place called Beata Taquiera.
Do we know what if we?
No, we don't.
Beef.
Either way,
it was beef tacos, beef.
Okay.
Everything. It was
Gotcha.
Bieta, which I found out. Bieta means beef. That was the first time seeing beef spelled and pronounced differently in Latin. I think it might be Puerto Rican. It's not Mexican because asada is steak.
Yeah.
In Mexican, so must be Puerto Rican or something else. So I learned that yesterday.
Either way,
Yep.
AG, we talked a lot about in the first hour. We talked a lot about the transfer portal positions on Nebraska's roster that you kind of don't really want to see some attrition. But what I was gonna say is I just saw this text or tweet, not text because I don't text Pete Thamel. I saw this tweet from Pete Thamel, who obviously is with ESPN, that the number of transfers right now. 502 FBS football players have entered the NCAA transfer portal since April 1st. So in the last 16 days, 502 FBS football players have entered the transfer portal. In 2024 and 2025's portal cycle, there have been a total of 3,610 transfer portal entries.
Oh, say that again.
Since the 2024 cycle, so in this offseason, there have been 3,610 transfer portal entries.
Wow. Impressive. That's a lot. It's a lot of, oh man, I want to say wasted movement, right?
Yeah.
Because it's kids doing this because they're uncomfortable or they didn't start. Or whatever, they got their reasons, right? They got their reasons. Some are validated, some are not. Coaches fired, right? Offensive line graduating, the quarterback, if you're a wide receiver, graduating, stuff like that goes on. So those are legit ones. But then more from majority of it, that's what I would want to know is like of the 3,000 and change, what was the reasons, and then what would be the percentages of because I'm not starting or because I was injured or because my starting quarterback graduated or my starting offensive line graduated. Like, give me a validated reason. It was the first time I ever experienced transfer portal was with a kid I mentor right now in the NFL, KJ Osborne. And
KJ, Buffalo.
Exactly. And so he was at Buffalo, Raff. You love that Buffalo. Yes, sir. Yeah, you were there. You seen him play in person a couple times.
I know his mom.
Yep. Mom, great person as well. So he hit me up and said, Ahman, we got this transfer portal thing going on right now. And I was like, explain it to me. And I think I told the story about that. So long story short of it, he said, look, my quarterback is graduating, who was our leading passer, obviously, but also like all conference up there. And then our offensive coordinator, and I think the head coach is gone. So this is more the reason for me to graduate or move on to another school. And I'm like, that's fair. I was like, okay. I said, I was just making sure you weren't leaving just because, your quarterbacks graduate. So
with no reason. Leaving for no reason.
Exactly. I wanted to know a validated reason why you were leaving. Yeah. He gave me that with coach staff leaving and then quarterback leaving. I was like, all right, boom. Then I said, who are your prospects? He said, USC, Miami, and I think it was either like Missouri or Arkansas, somewhere like that. I'm like, oh, okay, those are legit spots, So he ended up going to Miami to finish off the story. But that's for me if I'm a mentor, I'm like, hey, you got to give me a validated reason. You can't just bounce because you feel, oh man, this, I can't work through this. I can't grind. You could grind through it. You just got to put your mind to it and get through it and understand you can't quit here, basically.
Yeah. And the worst part is with these transfer portal entries, you say like, we want to know the reasons, right? But the truth, and unfortunately, is that we'll never know. And that's the worst part of it all, is because there's a lot of untrustworthy guys, I think, right? And what I mean by that is they're going to say, oh, look, the coach didn't want me to play. The coach was holding me back, or whatever the case might be, when the actual reason is for the dollars, right? And so to get accurate data is practically impossible, which really stinks.
Right. I got that. And definitely that would be the other question. Like, are you bouncing because you want more money? Like, well, this is going to be an interesting process because you might run into that same problem when you get to your next location.
There was a head coach just yesterday, Marcus Freeman. How could I have forgotten this?
Notre Dame, your guy. That's your guy.
Yeah. How could I have ever?
Come on, Nick.
On the name, but he sat down with what is this, like JD Pickrell or whatever his name is from On3, and he was talking about how he was talking about the Nico Iamaleava situation. Obviously, it's a notable name, and that's why we talk so much about it. But he mentioned, and he was talking about how he said the quote, "Transactional guys are not good for your program." That was the quote, and I think that is.
I like the word he put in there.
Yes, I think that is so powerful.
It is,
because let's not be oblivious. Let's not be naive. Notre Dame is in the NIL game the same way.
Everybody is,
right? The same way. But there's different ways to do business, AG and Raff, and you guys know this, that you can be business driven without being so transactional.
Correct.
And that's where you can't get it twisted if you're a head coach.
Yeah. And for being I'll say being a player standpoint, right? Just ask for what you've earned. Like say, hey, this is, I mean, because look at the stats of any player close to you and what they're making, and just say, hey, I want 200K more than this guy because I have 3 more 100 yards than him, and then I'm behind this guy, so obviously I know I can't get paid more than this guy over here at USC. So I'm gonna then give me this, and I'm happy. Find that for me, collective, whoever they're talking to, agent, whatever. Give me that amount of money because that's how it is in the NFL, NBA, NHL. WNBA, now women's volleyball. So you can ask for where my stats line up. Give me that amount, so I at least know that I'm getting what I've earned.
What's fascinating, guys, is, and I've had a conversation with some people that are in this scene about how do you judge the market and how do you put value to your name, right?
Correct.
In this. And what's crazy is I've heard it from both sides, to where the guys that are having the asking prices, but then also the businesses that are trying to do these deals. And in a hypothetical scenario, I found out, and I thought this was really fascinating, to where if a guy has NFL draft or NBA draft, because I think it's even more applicable in the NBA and college basketball scene, is if you have a chance to go and get drafted in one of those leagues, but choose to come back to college, then the way that they're putting a number to their name is saying, hey, this is what my slot value would have been for the draft, and this is what the projected endorsement number would be. So that is the number that needs to be in college. And I get where they're coming from, but I think it's so bizarre because this is what I'm passing up to then try to get the same amount of money just in college.
Correct. I mean, you have that because some of these collectives have that for some of the universities out there, right?
Yes.
So obviously knowledge I wish I 100% had back in 1997, 1998. Trust me. If I had more information like that, I would probably still be a Cornhusker, So it's just something that now in the future, fast forward, it's now getting, I've been saying this from day one, is getting the college athlete from any sport prepared to be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
It's just now with Nico and his dilemma is now, I'll say that should be a call to action for coaches to now be more proactive about talking to their players, because trust me, I know Josh Heupel is like, God, I just had to let a kid go that I know can help us get far.
Yeah.
But I had to let him go. It's the principle.
He helped you do your first college football playoff berth.
Exactly. Like, so great player, but it's the principle, bro. You can't come at me like that and expect me as a coach to be like, okay, what you just asked me. No, I gotta be. It's the principles. I gotta let you go. I can't, because I don't want this going on in my facility. Then if I let you go and ask for your money and then approve it, what you think? I'm gonna open the door for everybody else to come running in, asking for, can you double my deal? Come on, you ain't done nothing yet, but you just gave Nico this, So I applaud that Josh stood his ground. It's unfortunate, right? Because he's a great player. I did see maybe Nico might be going to North Carolina, which is well interesting because we know who's there. We got the king of all kings of negotiations. Maybe he can talk Nico into a deal because he talked Tom Brady into understanding that, hey, if you take $20 million a year, we could have more money to buy pieces of the team and continue to win Super Bowls. So maybe that might be a perfect matchup if Nico ends up in North Carolina, So it's just one of those spots that you just gotta right now for everybody involved in terms of that situation. This is a lot of adjustment going on, but also a tone has been set, for everybody else around college football. And college sports, not just football, college sports, basically.
I think, Raff, in all honesty, I think a precedent has been set at Tennessee.
Yeah,
100%.
I think that's where there was importance for Josh Heupel, whether it's morally correct that they moved on and didn't pay him what he probably deserves, or whatever the case might be, whatever the actual situation was behind closed doors.
Right.
There's this precedent set at Tennessee, which if you're like a casual college football fan or one that was a fan back in the 1990s or 80s or whatever and saying this is how it should have always been, the way that it was back then is how it should always be, then you're sitting there going, yeah, that's right, go Tennessee, good job. Well, I think the ones that are more understanding of the situation say, you know what, both sides messed up here.
Yeah.
Well, the thing too that people forget about is he had agreed, for that $2.4 million a year. That's what he agreed upon. So basically, we talk about contracts and stuff. He was breaking his contract by not fulfilling those obligations. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be, like we said, the transactional. You're going to have transactional players out there that they're going to want to get every single penny that they possibly can get. Then you're gonna have those other players out there that they're gonna take, like you said, AG, like you'll slot them in where you'll be like, okay, well, this guy has 300 yards more than me, I have 300 yards more than him, and I think eventually it'll get to something like that. But right now, with it being the wild west the way it is, and half the time these players don't know what the other players are making too. You hear about it, but you don't know if it's true or not. Is that guy really getting $4 million? Because I would be surprised if you looked at the quarterbacks in the NCAA college football right now. How many of those quarterbacks are getting $4 million a year?
I know somebody might be sitting on a bench in Texas somewhere that's making some good money.
Yeah. But also, I feel like Arch has done it the right way, right?
Well, and he has a good parent. He has good resources.
Yeah,
his resources. He has an uncle and a dad and a grandfather. I know all those resources are definitely firing off. So somewhat, Raff, while you were talking, something popped in my head about last week on my Packer tailgate tour. Mark Murphy, who also is a former NFL player, the CEO of the Packers right now, retires officially in July. Yep. But he, every now and then at each stop, somebody would ask the really good question of, what was your pay scale when you played, Mark Murphy? And so his rookie deal was a 2-year deal. What y'all think the max was?
Yeah.
And what do you think his signing bonus was?
Max would probably been about 65,000 probably.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 65. Nick?
I'll say similar because I don't even have a clue.
Okay. Chat, maybe? Real quick, one person. I'll give it a few. Huh?
What is it?
Oh, so it's a 2-year deal. $21,000.
Oh, yeah.
$2,500 was a signing bonus.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yes, and this was like 1960 something.
Yeah.
Right. So just think about that, right? And this is pro. This is the NFL. Okay. Oh, yeah. And so just hearing that from him every now and then during the Packer tailgate tour was just interesting. It's like so then the conversation went on to other questions from the audience, but just hearing that. He played for the Washington at that time Redskins, and a really good team that won and been to a lot of playoff games and Super Bowl. So just interesting to know, where things are. Because go back 100 years ago, this is where you had GMs or owners for NFL teams walking up to Gale Sayers on the high school or college all-star game and say, here's a deal, on the field, and he's a kid, he's fresh out of college getting offered from the Bears a deal from George Halas saying, sign this, we'll make you a Bear right here, but not really saying is we own your rights of you as a person playing football. So you're going to play for, be playing for us and get paid by us.
And now you have guys that are getting a couple $100 million in signing bonuses.
Correct.
I mean,
At the college level.
In baseball, though, you just had Vladimir Guerrero Jr. sign a $325 million, a deal that includes a $325 million signing bonus.
Guaranteed. My
So
goodness.
that's all guaranteed. So AG, here's the thing though, they did it a smart way to where they're spreading it out. So it's
Baseball does that. Yeah, I like that. And
it's real creative with how baseball do contracts, I will say, because they spread that 325 sign. They label it specifically as a signing bonus, and they spread it out over the 10-year deal. I mean, so you're talking about even if they just average it per year, $32.5 million in guaranteed money per year for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I mean, goodness sakes.
I'm hitting home runs all day long until I can hit them out. I'll be 55 trying to crank one out.
So I just watched the first episode of that Boston Red Sox documentary last night on Netflix, guys.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, really well done. The first episode was, but they talked about how, they were obviously behind the scenes, and they had a prospect pitcher, Brian Bayo, who had just literally the day that they started recording signed a 7-year, $55 million deal. It was his first deal. He's from the Dominican. He signed when he was 17 years old, and he was 23 when he signed this deal of 7 years, $55 million. They showed the entire team going out to dinner, and they joked around that he was going to pick up the check. They threw a fake receipt at him for like $26,000. And the Craig Breslow, the chief baseball officer for the Boston Red Sox, goes, "Hey, Brian, you got to put like a 20% tip. That's like $6,000 on there." And he signs it thinking that he's paying for this deal. He's got his Amex card out.
Right.
They go, "No, we're just kidding. You're good. You're good." But I mean, it's just bizarre to think about.
Well, I've seen that happen in real. Like I've heard about it, and it's no fun.
No, it was funny.
No fun at all.
Rafael Devers comes in and he orders the most expensive bottle of wine. The Red Sox
wine and the biggest steak in the house. Is like, 100%. Oh man, that's cold blooded, y'all.
But they brought the fake receipt over there, thinking it was 20. He thought it was like 26,000.
See, baseball does.
Right,
right, baseball does fake receipts. NFL did the real thing. That's
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you get dealt with the real receipt, AG?
Not me. It was other players and not teammates. Old teammate of mine with the Seattle Seahawks, Sean Springs. He got dealt that way, and they were laughing about it. I'm like, that ain't funny. I'm like, what y'all laughing about? I said, I can't wait till if I was Sean, whoever did it, I can't wait to the next practice because I'm gonna take something out on you, bro. I don't care if I was a first round. Don't treat me like that. Don't pull a gag like me on that. That's not funny.
I'd be doing the Irish goodbye.
What'd you say, right?
I'd be doing the Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
How about where'd he go?
Yeah, right.
He gone.
Yep. He gone.
All right. There we go. We got Husker baseball to talk about. They beat Creighton last night.
What a hell of a game. Nice.
Got to talk about it a little bit. Raff, send us a break.
All right. What's the breaks? The Drive 93.7. The Ticket.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Start your engines, race fans. Race season at Eagle Raceway officially starts this Friday and Saturday. Friday, April 18th and Saturday, April 19th is the Icebreaker Challenge, presented by Stop and Shop and Auto Transmatic at Eagle Raceway. Both days feature Nebraska's best lawn and landscape modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, and A1 Iron stock cars. Friday also features Valentino's Hobby Stocks. Saturday will feature Nebraska Septic Sprint cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze, an afternoon high around 80. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly cloudy, a low near 59. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly sunny, with a high near 86. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's becoming a wild ride in the car market these days, but Koppel wants to let you know and assure you that we are staying the course with our usual pricing model. We've still got huge discounts and low interest rates, so let's get after it. We've got over $12,500 off list price or 0% APR right now on select new vehicles. New and pre-owned, our lots are full, so now's the time to buy. Please stop on in the dealership or check us out at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G187747. All deals with roof credit.
Runners, are you ready? The 48th Annual Lincoln Marathon takes over the streets on Sunday, May 4th. Whether you're chasing a personal best, conquering your first race, or just in it for the bragging rights, this race is for you. Sign up for the full or half marathon today at lincolnmarathon.org, but don't wait, spots are filling fast. Join thousands of runners or line up along the course to cheer them on and make race day unforgettable. The Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon, your finish line is waiting. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we're back again. This is The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday, Perfect day outside, maybe a little gusty, but not too bad. Nebraska baseball last night, Creighton Blue Jays.
That's right. This segment brought to you by our friends at Renew. Call or text Nate, Eric, or David at 402-833-3858, or you can visit Renew online at renewyourauto.com. Raff, what do they do best?
Everything.
That's right. From body shop, ceramic coatings, window tinting, spray and bed liners, paintless dent repair, rust proofing and undercoating, and so much more. They do it all. So give Nate, Eric, or David a text or a call today, 402-833-3858, or learn more online at renewyourauto.com and see what Renew can do for you. That's right. Nebraska baseball, though, they win it 6-3 against the Blue Jays. How about Dylan Carey? We talked going into the season, guys, that Dylan Carey was going to need to kind of take a step forward. Last year, had the same number of strikeouts as he did hits. The discipline at the plate was not there for Dylan Carey for most of the season last year. This year, doing much better. I mean, he's one of the more consistent hitters right now and has been all season long for Nebraska, and especially has been pretty solid at shortstop as well. He goes 3 for 3 with 2 doubles and a pair of RBI last night in Nebraska's 6-3 win. And it was a Johnny Holstaff type of approach on the mound for Nebraska. Ryan Harrahill starts. He gets out of the first inning, but not until he allowed 2 runs in that first inning. But then Nebraska's able to then turn to Gavin Blockowitz, who tossed a pair of scoreless frames. Bryce Bender, a true freshman, moves to 2-0 because he officially gets the win in a relief appearance after working 2 2/3 innings. Then Grant Clevenger comes in, Casey Dice, and then Luke Broderick slams the door shut. Creighton, they make a living off of Johnny Holstaff victories, especially in the midweek. Nebraska beat Creighton at their own game last night using multiple pitchers.
Yeah. Yeah, with the multiple pitchers thing, I'll say one, having the hitting they had, they were able to, come up in key situations and get the hit out there. That means when you have runners on bases, and they did a good job at this in this game, runners on second and first, or runners on first and third, and taking advantage of that. That's a big deal in baseball. That's manufacturing runs, but also taking advantage of the situation. But then looking at the pitcher scenario, like I'm just paying attention to that, understanding that, look, when you have more than one pitcher obviously coming out there to make a win, that's obviously of all-around team victory. But it just shows me that there's some work that need to be done in the pitching department just to make sure we have guys that, could pitch a little bit more than just 2 to 3 innings. So we want that, because I think that's where you find Nebraska, getting in a higher ranking of the Big Ten and obviously in college baseball, because then when you're pitching and then your hitting is up for par as well, then you could probably push a little bit further into like NCAA playoff or, playoff that's coming up here in May and June.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think obviously longevity is something that you're always striving for, especially on the mound, especially with some, especially in some of the younger guys or not as high of usage guys on the mound. But overall, Nebraska did a really good job yesterday counter punching Creighton.
Yes.
Creighton comes out, they score 2 runs in the top of the first. They added one scores 2 runs in the bottom of the first. They add one on a solo home run in the bottom of the fourth. Nebraska, though, continued to cut the deficit. They trailed at 1.2-1. Then they tied it up 2-2. Then they trailed 3-2. And then the top of the fifth, the next half inning, after Creighton scores on a solo shot to right field, Nebraska's able to get the run right back. They tie it up at 3 apiece. And then Nebraska held Creighton scoreless from the bottom of the fifth inning on. And if you can slam the door, whether you're playing a mediocre team or whether you're playing the top team in the Big Ten Conference, that's so crucial that the back end of your bullpen can throw strikes, be competitive, and just get outs.
And from a mental standpoint, and I think it's huge for Nebraska. I mean, we always talk about the pesky midweek games. They come out, they're down 2-0 right away. One of those where you could foul it away and just be, oh, here we go again. But they're able, and like you said, to chip away, tie it up, and take the lead. It's huge from a mental standpoint. Baseball is a lot of mental stuff. So.
It is
all day, and all day.
I think one piece that I was really impressed with, and this is something that I think Nebraska can get to, right? And because when you don't have the overpowering stuff, AG, and I know you know the answer to this question, when a pitcher doesn't have the overpowering stuff, how do they become successful?
Oh, they start mixing up pitches.
Mix up pitches,
and obviously communicating before, during, and during practice week with your catcher in terms of knowing the hitters and what they like, studying film, because the same thing pitchers do or hitters do during the dugout, like watching the pitcher and how he releases in terms of, oh, that's a fastball, that's a curveball, oh, he's going to go to first base. Like you read that off of him, what just sitting in the dugout. Now the pitcher could do the same thing. Watch the film on what pitches this hitter likes to hit. Having that down with his with the catcher, then it could go over. Okay, we got this batter that's a lefty coming up. He said, he leads the team in home runs right now, or he leads the team with he's an on base percentage guy. So let's throw him. Just make sure we stay away from his sweet spots and don't allow him to get the hits he wants or get the ball that he wants to hit.
Yeah, and I think the way you become effective when you don't have overpowering stuff is, number one, like you said, knowing the scouting report, but also number two, pitch to contact. Allow your defense to work. And a lot of that is we saw that last night actually in the bottom of the 8th inning. Luke Broderick is on the mound, and Creighton was threatening. They had runners on first and second with one out, and they had the tie and run at the plate in the bottom of the 8th inning, right? And it's that, oh no, sphincter muscle tightens up a little bit. We're ready to go. We're ready to watch this thing. And see what happens, because there's so much unknown. There's been so much inconsistency this season. But then ultimately, what does he do? He's able to induce a ground ball. He doesn't try to do too much. And Nebraska gets out of the jam, 6-4-3 double play to end the inning on a nice, easy ground ball to the middle infielders. And they do their job as a defense. So like things like that, when you don't have overpowering stuff, guys like Jackson Brockett, guys like Will Walsh, when they can't throw in the mid to upper 90s like some of these guys at the college level can.
Right.
And you got to find other ways to be effective. Yep. And a lot of times that's pitching to contact, knowing the scouting reports, being accurate with your throws, and allowing your defense to go to work.
Right. Yeah. Doing that. And then they keep them errors down too in outfield. And they did that.
Yep. Yeah. So
Northwestern is next.
That's right. So Nebraska plays Northwestern. Just to remind everybody, the Big Ten tournament for baseball, the format has shifted. It's changed, and it's actually benefiting the teams because the way that it's going to go is the top 12 teams out of the conference will make the Big Ten baseball tournament. They will break it up into 4 pods of 3 teams. Whoever is victorious out of those 4 pods will then play in a single elimination bracket. So nice. It's a 12-team tournament. Nebraska currently sitting at about 13th in the Big Ten standings with a gettable series against Northwestern coming up at home this weekend. And then if you're able to make it into one of those pods, you will then eventually you'll have at least a 2-game minimum in those pods. Then you advance to a single elimination bracket, where before it was just the top 8 teams and you're in a double elimination bracket. Teams could play, though, 5-6 games over a week, and you would diminish your pitching staff. Here, you're playing probably more than likely just 4 games, and so you're talking about really being able to save some arms as the Big Ten is trying to gain that national respect going into regionals the following weeks, and so on and so forth. So that's the new format. So Nebraska is still in a fine position to make the Big Ten Conference tournament. They just got to get some wins under their belt here in the second half of the conference slate.
Let's sweep them up. Let's go.
There we go.
Get off the broom.
Let's get our brooms over to Hawks Field and Haymarket Park this weekend for Northwestern. It should be a good weekend of weather as well.
Yeah, should be nice.
So, all right, Raffy, final segment. Let's take it.
All right, don't break. It's The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, 2-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena this Friday and Saturday. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets on sale now at monsterjam.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Gray on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we're back again. This is The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday, wrapping up another show. Great day outside. Get outside, be a part of it. Have fun. Enjoy Lincoln. Enjoy Lincoln.
How's the weather there, AG?
78 and cloudy right now.
Nice. We got sunshine here, so it's making. I'll check the actual temperature according to the apps. It's 67 degrees here, but sunny. It says there is a marginal risk of severe weather today, though. I didn't know we were supposed to get rain.
I don't want rain.
It doesn't look like till overnight, so we're okay.
We good.
23 mile an hour gusts, though.
Oh.
Or excuse me, 23 mile an hour wind.
gusts up to 38 miles per hour.
Okay, maybe I don't want to go.
I think that's all the Kansas stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably.
It's the season of it's the time of the year where they're burning stuff in Kansas and it's traveling up here.
Creating all that wind.
Something like that. Creating all that wind, and then
those fires creating all that wind.
Right.
Something is forcing it up here.
Yeah.
I don't understand how all that works though.
Just
I've always
the
heard
mixing of cold air and warm air in the upper atmosphere, and it's pushing now. It's like the water current, going one direction. Everything goes from west to east. And every now and then it'll push back. But right now it's everything's coming from the west side of the U.S. to the east, either diagonally or straight through. Straight line between like California, upper California, through all the way through Nebraska, Kansas, straight over to whatever's next, Iowa, Kansas, Illinois, Kentucky, West Virginia, on that level, on that latitude.
It needs to stop.
Who needs Ken Shimmick when you got AG?
Right. There you go.
I do. Sorry, AG, but I do.
Anyway, that's all good.
Anyway, what you got today, Raffy?
All right, everybody. Today's Raff's Good Take goes out to a true legend, a gem of the state of Nebraska, Carol Frost. You might recognize the name, mom of Steve and Scott Frost. She won 2 gold medals in the 80-plus division in the shot put and the javelin in the world championships in Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, my gosh.
She is a world champion once again. So I just unreal, 80-plus years old and South.
Yeah. Oh, she just did that.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So I just want to congratulate her, and definitely that right there is a Raff's Good Take, still out there, still doing your thing, So congratulations, Carol. Your Raff's Good Take.
That's incredible. AG, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I got one little, I'll say, motivational thing. So start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So that's from the great Arthur Ashe. So for those 3,000 and some change, transfer portal football players, hey, start where you are. That means stay where you're at. Use what you have as resources and do what you can. And then a shout out to my one of my oldest daughters, Amani. She turned 28 today, so we spent time with her, like I said, last night. And so she just flew back to Dallas this morning. So happy birthday to her, and her have a great day. She's going to head to work. She is a deputy sheriff up in the Dallas area. So there you go.
I do have to mention also today is the funeral for not to end on a sad note, for one of my former teachers at Pius, Don McKee. I've known him before Pius, former baseball coach at Pius. He then was kind of in the administrative role at Pius and did stuff there. But he passed away earlier this week, and they're laying him to rest today. So Don McKee, incredible, just a massive baseball fan, and his passion was certainly to be with students. And so Don McKee passed away earlier this week, and the funeral for him is later today. So rest in peace to Don. Raffy, we got 10 seconds.
All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Be nice to each other. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Welcome to Cane's. It's Luke Bryan. What can I get you?
Today I'm raising funds with Raising Cane's and my buddy Todd Graves for the Brett Boyer Foundation. Great food and a great cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers and the Brett Boyer Foundation. One love.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality